like the Texans in their first year in the playoffs, they won a game. I don't care how you qualify it. They've won a game.
They beat Joe Flacco and the Browns. Okay, they won a game, but yeah.
So that counts for something.
Right, but there's context, man. Like, context to that win. And what happened next week when they played an actual playoff team?
So they get no, and then you don't give the Bucs credit for beating the Eagles last year. That's
Do we talk about what the Eagles were last year?
And you know what's crazy is that the
Eagles.
And
what happened the next week when the Bucs played an actual playoff team?
If the Eagles are in the playoffs, their kryptonite is the Bucs. So if you're saying if you play right now, Eagles Bucs healthy, I'm taking the Bucs. If the Bucs have the Eagles number, that's what I'm saying. Like the Bucs are better than people think. And the Texans, I like the Texans.
The Bucs are essentially the same team that they were last year. They're essentially the same team. The wide receivers are going off. Baker Mayfield's playing everyone expected. Todd Bowles is calling the defense. Rashad White. It's the same team. And they went in the playoffs. They played a real Eagles team. They won. They went and played an actual playoff team, the Lions, and they got beat. Like, same with the Texans. Like, there's just a different level. I mean, you don't just walk into the NFL play, or I shouldn't say that. Few teams walk into the NFL playoffs with very little experience, and all of a sudden they're playing in, they're playing at Chiefs level.
You can say what you want about Baker Mayfield. Give Stroud a chance. He's had 1 year. He won.
He definitely had a chance. Yeah. I'm not going to crown him before he does it.
Well, he's just as good a chance as any other team in the AFC. They're a good team. It's not. You
guys have thoughts on it? I'm out.
And this year, it's
agree
not.
Agree or disagree?
This year, you know why I like the Texans this year? Because Stroud didn't even play the best game Sunday, and they won. This is a football team now. Last year was the Stroud show. This year, it's the Houston Texans.
That's fine. I need to see in the playoffs. Because
we've
seen the Ravens do this for years.
Okay.
Be first-round checkouts, and they had the MVP and the best record in the NFL last year.
Okay. Well, we'll see in the playoffs.
I'm just saying there's differences. Look at the Dolphins. I could go on and on about how teams play differently in the playoffs.
Texans on the Dolphins.
Chiefs. Houston Texans.
Contender.
We all want to believe in these guys.
I'm gonna go ahead and believe in them. I'm gonna take the leap.
AFC has given us so many teams that are like they're great regular season and they flame out in the playoffs.
But I think, to be fair, you have to see him flame out first before you give him that title.
Did he not flame out last year?
At least give him. I mean, he won a playoff game. That's something.
Give him some. I'm so sick of hearing that. That's like the Deshaun Watson while he was 5-1.
No. I just don't understand. It was his first year and he won a playoff game. That holds some sort of weight.
It's not okay. It's not. I'm not saying it's a mark against him, but it's in the context. It's not the same as every other. Like another rookie coming in and win a playoff game. It was the Browns with Joe Flacco.
And it's Stroud's first shot at the playoffs, and at least he won one. You know what I'm saying?
That's great.
And now he has a better team around him.
Most young quarterbacks defeat themselves in these in these playoff games.
It's good. No, it's not a negative mark against him. Like I'm not marking it as a negative, but it's not like in the context that it was Joe Flacco. It means a lot less than if he would have went into Baltimore the next week and beat the Ravens. Like those are different because when he did play the Ravens, and I think that's part of it for me too, is that when he actually played the Ravens, like all right, let's see where we are now. It wasn't even close.
Do you give him any? I'm not say leeway, but for rookie version of CJ Stroud, he's not the same this year than was like he was a rookie last year.
That's the thing. You can't have it both ways.
No.
He was an elite rookie because he won a playoff game. Well, he didn't win a second playoff game because he's just a rookie. No, you can't have both ways.
No, I didn't say that. I said this year he's not a rookie, so at least he has playoff experience now.
Yeah, with some baked-in progression
with a better team.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, it's going to come down to him. I don't care who he has around him.
The team is better. Like they beat
absolutely, but it's going to come down to him. Right.
So in order for them to get credit, they have to win the Super Bowl. Because if they win a game, it's not enough for you. Because you're like, no, because it's
that's you saying that. That's
Joe's
not
just saying they have to have a quality win in the playoffs.
Win, or maybe God forbid, win a couple playoff games. I'm not crowning him after beating the Browns and Joe Flacco. I'm not, and then getting boat raced by the Ravens. You still got to prove yourself just as much as like the Dolphins and Ravens. Like we're still hard on them.
You better be.
Why? Because they don't. Yeah. If they go and beat a playoff team, yeah. Okay. Now, yes. Now I've seen it. Now I've seen you do it. Because other teams, there's levels, and certain teams stop at certain levels. You better be. Even though we thought they were going to be better.
You better be this hard on the Bills. Then the Bills do the same thing every year. They're a good team during the regular season, and they flame out. You better be
reaching the AFC playoff game year after year is not flaming out.
They've been good for years, and they haven't won a Super Bowl.
Okay, reaching the AFC playoff game almost every year does not mean you flamed out. It means you're playing with Patrick Mahomes. No one's won the Super Bowl. Then the whole league's a flame out because
I just think
Patrick Mahomes.
I think to judge Stroud for like you
what
only,
does that mean? Judge Stroud.
You only take the bad side, which is losing, and not the good
You
side.
act like you're defending a kid at Little League.
Well, no. You act like Stroud has had nothing to like. He's proven nothing.
Are you not hearing what I'm saying? He's been really good in the regular season so far, and it's different in the playoffs.
They're a better team this year, so I will put a lot of money that the Texans are going to win a playoff game like that. I think.
Okay, I don't think that it's not a possibility.
So, how many games do you need to win for you to believe in them? So, like
these questions are like you're not hearing anything I'm saying. You're just trying to make this big blanket statement about wins and losses.
No, I'm not. You're just.
I need them to beat a playoff team at full strength.
They did that last year.
At least one time. Who they beat at full strength in playoffs?
Okay. If they beat one playoff team this year, like it doesn't make sense. Like you're discounting their.
I don't know how else to say it. If it doesn't make sense to you, then you're just trying to find a way around it.
No, I think you're just judging them like on a crazy scale. We're like, well, last year
of having a playoff win.
Last year as a rookie and this team that wasn't even supposed to be in the damn playoffs, you didn't play well. So you guys aren't healthy, or you guys aren't a great team. Now with a good team,
is this how it's translating over there?
Now with a good team, you're just saying, well, you guys are still the same. They're not the same as last year. They are way better than they were last year. The team is better.
How do you know CJ Stroud's going to play better in the playoffs?
Because he's playing better now.
He played well last year.
But he's playing better now than he did last year.
You guys, look at the NFL. That's not how it works.
Okay, I mean,
has Lamar Jackson not had great teams around him?
Okay,
Tua Tagovailoa.
Okay, but that's how you answer these types of questions. Though you want to know if they're a contender. Here's Angels proof. If you want to call
they've
it.
gotten better.
That's not proof. That's speculation.
Well,
we've never seen it.
Well, so is contender, or the game that we're playing right now is all that. That's what Angel's trying to say. Angel's trying to say there's progression. Is there progression from last year?
Yes, and part of the progression is winning a playoff game,
which they did last year.
Give them a chance.
Tua led the league in passing last year.
Well, I don't know what to. I mean,
where'd that come from?
That means you could have great regular seasons because there's a lot of talent around you. Because he has Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle and A-Chain in the backfield doing all these, and the defense playing really well. It doesn't matter in the playoffs because it's a different game.
Okay, well then here's what Angel's saying. Then we go to the playoffs. They win a playoff game, and that playoff win isn't good enough for you.
Because the playoff winning context is not.
But that Browns team that you discount, that's a playoff football team. Like you're forgetting that. Oh, that was a good football team. They didn't just end up there by mistake.
Does that playoff game really hold like the same value as if they went in and even beat a healthy Browns team?
That was the best defense last year, and Stroud beat them.
God.
Well, I don't like you can't discount 100% the Browns.
They beat Joe Flacco in the playoffs because Joe Flacco couldn't score. By the way, like if you remember the playoff game.
Okay,
like Joe Flacco couldn't do anything. That was the problem.
You're saying Flacco. That Browns defense was the best of football last year, and a rookie CJ Stroud
right, but the Browns defense can't score any points unless there's like major turnovers and stuff. But
so
they can't do everything.
You're not giving them any credit for beating the Browns defense.
You keep saying that. Yes, you get credit. However you want credit,
but you get less credit.
But it's not in the context of what it was. No, it's not like you played a team that didn't belong in the playoffs. They made the playoffs. I get it, but they made it because we laugh at the fact that Joe Flacco even won the award. We laugh at it. Like
I think marking this team so early as pretenders is like.
So far, they're pretenders because I gotta see it.
Yeah,
I gotta see you not get boat raced in the playoffs by an actual contender.
Okay, well, this is ridiculous.
I don't crown guys early. Not doing this, CJ Stroud.
Everyone, okay, then don't crown anyone else because no one else has won either. Like don't crown the Bills as contenders when they haven't won.
No, there are teams here that have won playoff games that have a history of winning big games in the playoffs.
CJ Stroud's
There's even teams that have been
CJ Stroud's history. He has a playoff win.
God,
he has 1 year,
and Deshaun Watson's 5-1.
He had 1 year, and he won a playoff game.
And Deshaun Watson's 5-1.
And now his team is better.
And Bo Nix won last week.
And he's really better. Good too. And he's better.
Right. You don't understand.
You're not seeing progression.
You don't understand context, and you don't understand that's not the same thing. You're not a Super Bowl contender because you beat Joe Flacco and the freaking Browns.
Okay,
he's better. You're missing that part,
right? But that's not what he's claiming. He's claiming, they have a better team.
Angel
and he has a playoff game under his belt. I don't give a damn about you. You don't beat Joe Flacco and then add Stephon Diggs in the offseason and say, you're a contender now. No,
you're putting weight. First off, you're discounting the entire Browns team. as if that wasn't a playoff team, as if that wasn't the best defense last year, as if they didn't have Myles Garrett, as if they didn't have, like, that's a good football team.
You're acting like the Texans are the first team to ever add a bunch of talent to a good team, and now they're contenders. Like, no. The Dolphins have done this.
I think
the Ravens have done this.
It's something about the Texans that you don't like, and I'm just trying to find it.
I'm just not going to crown them early. It's not like them thing. I'm not on the playground here. I need to see it first.
Okay.
And I think that's your problem. I think you take it a little too personally, like it's your little baby boy playing Little League.
No, I think
sorry, coach is telling you no. He actually kind of sucks.
No, he sucks. Okay,
Joey, they're 4-1.
I'm talking about the Little League thing. Chill.
Now he's just being. Now he's emotional.
I'm talking the Little League thing.
But I'm saying your argument makes no sense because they're better.
They're better now they're a better football team now.
You're talking about a better roster. Yeah. I'm with you. And that's been done before.
365 days ago, they were not supposed to even be in the even in the playoff race. They make the playoffs. Okay. They win a playoff game.
Yes, they're a different team.
Yes, they lose to a good team. Now the start of the next year, they're 4-1, most likely on everyone's top 10 list. How in the world are you right? You're saying same old Texans. Okay. Oh, and they beat the Browns.
So how are you going to call the Vikings a contender or kind of struggle to call them a contender? Because I don't know.
I didn't struggle to call him a contender.
Did you say contender? Like
no.
He said that about the Texans.
Oh, okay. No, the Vikings are a playoff team or a Super Bowl contender?
Yes, I said that.
Yes, they are. They are a Super Bowl contender for sure. The Vikings are. It's a very good team. Texans are a very good team. I'm not saying the same tier, but they're only one game apart.
I don't know how else to explain this. Like, there's other teams that have added talent, and they come back a better team on paper, and they have a quarterback who's supposed to be getting better every year, and they still flame out in the playoffs. We've seen this before. You're acting like they're breaking new ground here, but they're the first ever team to add talent in the offseason and come back with a more experienced quarterback. That's been done before.
Joey,
you still got to get done in the playoffs.
You're already crowning them a playoff loss for this year, though, just the way you're talking right now.
No, I'm not. I'm saying I got to see it first. You're crowning them a playoff winner already. That's the problem.
Because they've won a playoff game.
You're crowning them a multiple playoff winner because you're calling them Super Bowl contenders.
I said they're better than last year, and last year they won a playoff game.
Right, but that's not the question.
Which means they are capable of winning at least 2 games in the playoffs.
They are capable, but I'm not going to give credit. They're capable, but I'm not giving credit till they do it. And I'm certainly not going to say, well, I'm going to give them credit for multiple playoff wins, and they're actually going to go to the Super Bowl. I need to see that too.
There's only one way to hit that.
Yes, that's right. That's exactly right. There's only one way to prove it. You got to go actually do it.
Okay, go on.
Because a lot of people crown the Dolphins and the Ravens. A lot of people crown those teams too. And it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you're not the same team.
So with that logic, every other AFC team in this list is
no, because there's teams in the AFC have won playoff games and been to multiple AFC championships. So no, that argument's false.
Stroud only had 1 year and he's 1-1 in it. That means nothing to you?
See, I don't understand how you can you can die on the hill of them beating the Browns because they had a good defense, and Brock Purdy can't get any credit in your mind, and he's been to the Super Bowl.
We're not talking about Purdy. We're talking about Texans.
No, I know. We're talking about your logic and how it's inconsistent because you see Stroud in a different light.
No, right. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the Texans being a Super Bowl contender right now. I think, and I
exactly what I'm talking about too.
Yeah, and I think I don't know where Purdy came from.
Because I'm talking about your logic and how you'll give Stroud certain credit for certain things because it's Stroud and you're looking for a way to justify your contender, and yet for other quarterbacks you won't give that, whether it's Purdy or whoever else. That's what I'm saying. It's inconsistent because you have an emotional attachment to CJ Stroud.
No, I think he's a good quarterback with a good team.
I think so too, with a good team. Yeah. Still didn't see the playoffs.
Okay, well, let's just act like 2023 didn't happen. Like
why? No, I'm acting like it happened. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying.
That them just being in the playoffs is a huge step, and then now they've gotten better.
Yeah, what happens if they keep winning? What happens if they end up like 13-4? Are you still at that stage where you have to see it?
Yeah, because we've seen it before.
At 13-4?
Yes. Because it's not the same, guys. Like, why is that? Is it just me? Like, have we not seen successful, over and over successful season teams that don't do well in the playoffs ever?
We've also seen stories of teams that are on the flip side of that where they had the year and then they came back next year even way better.
Yeah, and you got to see it first, right? Or are we just going to crown that? We're going to crown, no, they're a contender. Because they beat Joe Flacco last year, so they got a playoff win, and they're 4-1.
There's definitely more optimism.
And they added Stephon Diggs.
There should be far more optimism there than to say they're just not that. That's all.
So what do you want me to say? You want me to say that there's a good chance they're going to go to Super Bowl?
At least calling them playoff contenders. I don't know what they haven't earned that.
No, you're not going to change my definition for what a contender is. Contenders, I got to see it before at least one time win a playoff game against a starting quarterback at least one time, especially in this AFC.
Okay.
Johnny Super Bowl winners are
No,
contenders.
guys, you guys aren't listening to me. Playoff wins. Win a playoff game. I literally just said it. Win a playoff game against a healthy team.
Okay. Let's move on.
You're not going to change my definition for a contender.
And the more you've said Joe Flacco like 18 times and just discounted. I think you're just not respecting.
Sorry
that.
about context. It's real.
I don't think you're. Yeah, context is real. Like the Browns team was good last year. That's a real stat. The best defense in football last year was the Cleveland Browns. That's a real stat. Context is real. That's why it's impressive. He beat that as a rookie with the worst team that he has now.
With a worse team. Yeah.
Yes. So
Okay.
now with a better team, year two,
So
they're already off to a good start.
It wasn't
That's why I'm
telling. It
seeing
wasn't telling to you at all that when he played the Browns and when he played the Ravens, it was so different. Like that wasn't like a light bulb. Like maybe the Browns weren't actually.
You know what
that
told me
good.
that? This guy, if you give him a better team, which he had this year, and a couple more years, one more year, he could. Like it's very easy to see him as a playoff winner. It's very easy.
They lost by 3 touchdowns.
You hear what I'm saying? You can very easily see they won last week, and this week they kind of figured out. Okay, they have a better team than they had last year. The way better than the Ravens this year. So like it's just.
This is the same logic that we're getting mad at all the Bo Nix fans about. Like you want to be like over the top positive, it's going to happen,
But no,
I want to be cautiously optimistic, and I'm the bad guy.
No,
I am optimistic about them, but I'm cautious. I'm not going to crown them yet. I'm going to wait.
Crown them as a playoff team.
As a Super Bowl contender, at least win a couple playoff games before I give you that.
It's not the same as the Bo Nix because Stroud has shown as a team. I'm not comparing him to Bo Nix at all. In the context, Stroud has shown more than like the Bo Nix. That's hard to.
It's
hard
the
to
same
compare.
logic.
No, it's not. There's
Whether you say it's not or not, it's the same logic.
there's stats that back Stroud. And I don't care if you don't like the Browns being good last year, as you're just discounting that completely. But they beat the Browns.
What stats back the Texans as or the Browns as
Last year, you want to see pull up the defensive stats from
okay? They
last
had a
year's-
good defense, but you understand like they couldn't score any points. That's why they lost the game.
to the okay. Well, I'm saying they won a playoff game.
That's why no one believed they were a Super Contender last year.
because they weren't even supposed to be there. Now you
Who, the
have
Browns or the Texans?
the Texans. They weren't supposed to
The
be
Browns
there.
too, by the way.
They weren't supposed to be there, and then they got better this year. That's why I'm saying like, oh yeah,
So they're better this year, and I agree with you with all that. But that doesn't mean they're Super Bowl contender. There's different. A lot of teams got better this year.
They're really
The
good.
Jets got better this year.
They're a really good regular season team. That's what you want me to say.
Yeah, so far that's what they've shown us.
God, dude, that's crazy. So they
No,
made
it's
the
crazy to crown someone a
They,
Super Bowl contender.
they
when
made the
haven't
playoff,
won a-
they made the
when-
playoffs last year, but they're not a playoff team.
Who said they're not a playoff team?
You're not. Okay, they're
You're
a playoff.
changing the argument.
Okay, they're a playoff winning team, but you don't count that. So I have to say, okay, they're a playoff team because you're not counting the win at all. You're giving zero credit.
I
for
know
the
you
win.
want to make a little statement to end it, but you're changing what the argument is.
Give some credit to the Texans. Can you do that?
I've been doing that.
You,
They're a good team. They got better. They're going to have a good regular season. Still need to see in the playoffs. You just want me to crown them. I'm not going to do it just
I'm
because they
not
have a good
crying.
regular season.
I'm kind of as contender. I'm not saying that they're win the whole thing. I'm like they're a legit.
Calling
playoff
them
contender.
Super Bowl contenders is in my book, that's crowned them as one of the best teams in the NFL.
Are they
and
not?
one of the
They're
top
four-
NFL
they're
playoff
4-1.
performers.
What do you want them to do?
I want them to win playoff games.
They've had 1 year, and he was a. Okay, here's.
God, I'm not say it.
I don't know how to say either. Like they've improved off a playoff win last year.
Right. Playoff legends aren't built in week 4. I'm sorry. You don't get crowned a playoff. You're some perennial Super Bowl contender because you're 4-1. Not doing it.
This 401 team who's gotten better is not a playoff
Yep.
contender.
You're right.
That's crazy.
You're right.
That's just crazy.
There it is.
Okay, well, the Bills aren't for real because they haven't won anything. The Bucs haven't won anything.
Bills have been in multiple AFC championship games.
They've
So
also lost multiple championship games,
but they've been there. They've won playoff games.
but they've lost. Which is what you're discounting the same Texans team
No,
for.
because they
for
have beat
losing.
teams. They have beat the Ravens. You know the team that blew out the Texans? The Bills have beat them in the playoffs before. That's the difference.
Okay, all right, because they've had more than 1 year. What do you?
Okay, so I'm willing to wait and let's see if they do it. You want to act like they've been doing it 5 years and they've had all this equity built up, and they don't.
You're just giving like no credit to what they've done this year and what they've built last year. That's what you. That's what like last year you're saying. Well, they beat
No,
the Browns.
I'm not giving them the credit you think they deserve. That's because to say give them no credit, I literally just said they're one of the best teams in the NFL right now. They're gonna have a great record. They're probably gonna win a division. CJ Stroud's gonna have an amazing year. All those different things. You want me to give them a next level of credit. So to say I'm giving them no credit is just you trying to mic drop me And that's just not true.
I'm not my job opinion. I'm just saying this. You can. I'm sure I'm not the only one who thinks the Texans are a Super Bowl contender, but you.